Influenced by fan desire for a crossover film with a fight between Freddy and Jason, New Line Cinema and Paramount Pictures tried to make Freddy vs. Jason a movie in 1987. Frank Mancuso Jr. enlisted Tom McLaughlin to unite the studios, but no agreement could be made. 2 years after initial talks fell apart, director Joseph Zito attempted to revive the project, but neither Mancuso nor Robert Shea were interested in pursuing the project at the time. Before Cunningham could begin to work on Freddy vs. Jason, Wes Craven returned to New Line to make New Nightmare in 1994, and this put Freddy vs. Jason on hold but allowed Cunningham to bring Jason back with Jason Goes to Hell the final Friday. Jason Goes to Hell duo Adam Marcus and Dean Lorey were courted early on, but no official deal was finalized. And in 1999, Mark Verhaeten entered the project and proposed releasing the film with two different endings, one with Freddy winning and one with Jason winning. The next year, DeLuca hired Mark Protasovic to write an entirely new script. Jason X writer Todd Farmer wrote for the film as well. Newcomers Mark Swift and Damian Shannon were hired after delivering a pitch that DeLuca was happy with in March 2002. Wes Craven, Guillermo del Toro, and Ronnie Yu all declined the opportunity to direct the film. Rob Zombie turned the film down and favored a helm House of a Thousand Corpses. Ronnie Yu would ultimately sign on to direct the film in May 2002 after being given an enormous amount of creative freedom for his 2003 film, Freddy vs. Jason.
Not strong enough yet. Well, I will be soon enough. Until then, I'll let Jason have some fun.
Let them fight.
You're a wizard, Harry.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. I'll be back.
Death has come to your little township.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Chills and Thrills. Connor here along with Adrian, and as well, we have Drew here along with us. He will be joining us for our second rendition of Freddy vs. Jason. We did this for our Friday the 13th reviews, and now we are taking it on with the Nightmare on Elm Street reviews. So, Adrian and Drew, I appreciate you guys being here. How you doing?
Fantastic. Thank you for asking.
I am doing wonderful. This has just been a great day. I'll tell you that.
Well, I know, Adrian, if you and me want to kind of lead the way, and if you want to kind of let us know like how you were introduced to this film, what you remember, if you've seen it in theaters, or like just how big of a fan are you? What team are you on? Like things like that about this film.
Well, personally, I was kind of introduced. This is back in 2003, so I did watch it the year of.
Oh, he said Connor and Adrian.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
All right, go for it, Drew. No, you're on it. Go for it.
All right.
Take the reins.
My bad.
You're good.
Not trying to impose. No, I mean, me personally, how I got introduced to it was mainly, high school, or no, actually, this is after high school, but still kind of younger, mindset, and I went to the theaters to watch it because, it's probably actually the only movie out of the Nightmare franchise that I've actually seen in the movie theaters, to be honest with you. Now that I think about it, because all the other ones, like, my parents weren't going to take me to those movies,
Yeah. Oh.
but yeah, it's probably in the ranking. What kind of questions do we want to know?
Oh, just how you were introduced to it. What are your thoughts on it? What team are you on?
I'm definitely Team Freddy, obviously. I mean, for me alone, just because
Yeah.
I am a Nightmare on Elm Street super fan when it comes to any of these other ones. A lot of the other horror type movies, I'm not too big on. Halloween's fun. I love Chucky. Don't get it twisted on that one. That was like my first horror movie I ever got to watch when I was a kid. But that one, and then but like Hellraisers, stuff like that, I can't stand. I don't like Hellraisers.
Not a Hellraiser
No,
fan.
not
Really?
not. It just seems so. I don't know.
Gory.
It's gory. It is definitely gory. One of the most goriest ones out there, I think. But it, you know, either way, with the Nightmare, I'm definitely Team Freddy, and I really like this film. It's cheesy, it's corny, but usually a lot of the '80s horror movies were like this. Candyman, stuff like that. All those were very corny type, horror movies, and I love it. You just can't go over cross that red line right there, because then you get into like these B movies like Velocipaster. I don't know if you've ever seen that one, but that is a horrible movie.
That is pure cinema gold.
Oh no,
How
absolutely
dare
not.
you?
Velocipaster, I can, but see, that's where you don't want Freddy to go too far over. But but anyways, no, that's how I was introduced. So
See, and this is gonna be fun because you're the huge Freddy fan. Adrian is the very big Jason fan, and my number one, I go with Michael. I go with Michael Myers for my favorite. So we're a trio here, and I did not see this in theaters. I really wanted to when I was younger, and I never went. My parents didn't care. I was watching these movies way too young, as Adrian and I have discussed through the episodes, and the only Nightmare on Elm Street film I did see in theaters was the remake, and I just I found this on, I believe it was DVD. I don't think Blu-ray was a big thing yet, and so I watched it on DVD, and I loved it. I've always been Team Jason over Freddy Krueger. When it comes to slashers, for me, it's Michael Jason and then Freddy, and I mean they're all very close. I mean I love all three of these guys, but it was a fun blast for me, and when I did finally see it in or on DVD, I wished I would have seen it in theaters to get the experience, just to the fun, the atmosphere with the crowd would have been awesome to experience.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you're you're born 92, 93,
93.
93. Yeah, same here. So we were 10. We were 10 when this came out. Drew, you're a little bit older.
yeah.
Yeah, you were what, mid-40s whenever this movie
Shut
came
your
out?
mouth. No, I don't think so.
Um, but, for me, I'm team Jason all the way. I mean, hell, I even got Jason tattooed on my arm right now. And as Drew was talking about how he's team Freddy, I pulled out the Jason, painting that I have in my room here, and, I watched this movie actually on accident. Like, I got drug away to go to, I think, Arizona to go meet these family members that I've never heard of, and we had to stay the weekend at their place, and, I was like, "I'm gonna go watch a movie," and so one of the, like, the owner of the house, he was like, "Oh, well, here's 3 movies that you can pick from, go ahead for it," and one of them was, like, I don't know, it was, like, some Pokemon movie that came out, one of the, like, the 50 that are out, and then it was another kids movie, and then it was Freddy versus Jason. I was like, "Oh, I'm going Freddy versus Jason." It's freak I didn't know that I had no idea that there was a Freddy versus Jason. It was out for, like, maybe, like, 3 months, as I come to find out, and I watched it, absolutely loved it. I watched it, like, 4 or 5 times that weekend. It was great.
Connor, you did say something that I have a question about. So you consider Jason to be a slasher film. Is that correct?
I mean, yeah, I would consider it, just because they have a all the Friday the 13th for the most part have a very high body count.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because see, I guess the way I've always looked at it is slashers are movies. Jason is it's basically in the same category kind of as Michael Myers, because in a way they have a supernatural slasher. And I think that's the kind of category they are. Like Scream, that's a true slasher. I feel like, Scream
It's an
movies
actual human.
it's an actual human. There's no supernatural to it. I mean, you see, you know, Matthew Lillard, get stabbed quite a few times. and not die right off the bat. But I mean, again, that's plot holes. But
He had plot armor.
yeah, plot armor. But I kind of feel like Jason and Michael, and maybe even Chucky a little bit, kind of get into that supernatural slasher type film. I just have always wondered that because everybody has their own take on slasher.
So then what would what would you consider Freddy then? Like, he's supernatural, but, like, would you consider him part of the slasher genre, or
More like the supernatural, like demon type killer. I mean, same thing that uh Candyman kind of falls into, Candyman and Hellraiser and those kind of things. I mean, they're all almost pretty much like demoned,
Paranormal
vengeful
slashers?
ghosts.
Paranormal slashers?
Yeah, paranormal slashers. But I mean, but again, that's kind of getting into what I think, Jason and Chucky and even Michael Myers, because Michael Myers is like right there on the edge because you can still technically kill him, but it's almost like multiverse, where there's different versions of Michael Myers, but
Yeah.
exactly, the different timelines and things like
Right.
that?
right. What does Lori have kids? No, she doesn't. Yes, she does. She has a boy. Nope, she has a daughter.
Yeah,
Whatever.
let's not go into the multiverse theory on this one.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one thing you guys mentioned earlier, like Hellraiser, I've only seen the first 2 of those movies because I've heard the rest after, like, 2 and 3 were terrible, so
Oh,
I've
yeah.
I've never really given them a chance. Like, Chucky was my jam when I was younger, like, Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy, like, Leprechaun was even one of those I watched a lot as a kid, like, so, like, I was raised on these horror movies, so, like, getting to actually see, like, a Freddy versus Jason, and then a year later, we get an Aliens versus Predator, like,
Hell yeah.
this stuff was just, it was awesome to see actually happening on the big screen. Like, we got video games and comic books and stuff of these things, but never did we imagine we'd actually get to see it on the big screen.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It just I kind of like, and you know what, when I bring up the whole categorization of it all, like I like to categorize things because when it comes to watching horror movies, I let being able to really kind of believe the BS or not believe the BS, and you got to let a little bit in just to be able to watch these movies and be entertained by these movies. You have to kind of believe some of it, whether or not you actually do. And so when I categorize, it kind of makes me, okay, well, I understand that they live in this, box right here, and they can perform and do their things, and some of it's not like ridiculous, like way ridiculous.
Yeah, we talked about that on the post credit podcast where Alien and Alien 2, totally different genres.
Mhm.
One's sci-fi horror, one's sci-fi action.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get that.
Well, and I think New Line Cinema is very good about doing this kind of thing, you know what I mean? With just being able to buy up, Jason's rights, they're not allowed to to re-air old things because it's not in their contract, but they can still combine these two characters in the way that they said, "Hey, let's go ahead and put these two characters." They were you know, the the top of the echelon when it comes to horror films back in the 80s, so it
Mhm.
was like, why not put them together? But I don't think a lot of studios could have done it, but, I believe New Line Cinema definitely was the one that could, so.
And you took one of my trivia notes,
Oh.
you bastard.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Well, I know which one you were gonna say, so, I mean, yeah. My bad.
Well, why don't I'll dig into some background for you on Freddy
Let's go.
versus Jason, and then we'll get into a quick, like, trailer and plot before we get into all the good stuff.
All right, let's go for it.
Freddy vs. Jason is a 2003 American slasher film featuring the characters Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, created by Wes Craven and Victor Miller, respectively. Directed by Ronnie Yu and written by Damian Shannon and Mark Swift, the film is a crossover between the two franchises and as the 8th installment in the Nightmare on Elm Street series and the 11th installment in the Friday the 13th series. The film stars Monica Keena, Kelly Rowland, Jason Ritter, Christopher George Marquette, Lachlan Monroe, and Robert Englund reprising his role as Krueger from previous films. Serving as a sequel to both Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare and Jason Goes to Hell: The Final Friday, the film brings together the titular antagonists of their respective franchises after the residents of Springwood began taking medication to suppress their dreams. Freddy Krueger finds himself weakened and forgotten. To regain his power, he resurrects Jason Voorhees to spread fear and restore his strength. However, Voorhees soon proves uncontrollable, setting the stage for a violent clash between the two supernatural killers. Freddy vs. Jason was released by New Line Cinema in the United States on August 15, 2003, and despite mixed reviews from critics, the film was a box office success and was the highest grossing film in the Friday the 13th franchise and the second highest grossing film in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, only behind the 2010 remake. The film marks Robert Englund's final portrayal as Krueger and the last released film in each franchise's continuity before their respective remake and reboot. A sequel and crossover with the Evil Dead franchise, Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash, was planned but later repurposed as a comic book limited series, along with a follow-up subtitled The Nightmare Warriors. So that was another thing I wanted to dig into was like the sequel. Like this film made so much money. I don't know how a sequel never got made to this. Even like I get your critics were mixed on it or whatever, but fans would have flocked back to the theaters for a sequel, whether Ash was in it or some of the rumors were like Michael Myers or Chucky, or there were rumors of like every other horror villain joining them, but fans would have flocked right back to the theaters to see a second film of this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you you could throw Ash in that? Oh, guaranteed, I would have seen it at least 3 times.
Well, I think a lot of reason why they might not have done a new one is, I mean, with most of the movies, um, you don't have a lot of famous actors. Now, then again, they become famous after doing these movies. Johnny Depp, things like Patricia Arquette, things like that. But I think a lot of it is they didn't really have anybody that wanted to carry this any further. I don't think. I mean, Kane Hodder probably, like you said, he would have done this one, but I don't think Robert Englund had it in him anymore to do anymore. Because I mean, he did do some stuff. I think he did some stuff with like Rob Zombie and stuff. Uh, I'm saying stuff a lot about stuff and saying stuff a lot, but anyways,
I
no,
didn't wanna bring it up.
I know. No, but I think they didn't have anybody that wanted to carry it any further. If you had like more of a main famous actor in like the lead role somehow, you probably get away with it. But I just don't think Robert Englund wanted to do it anymore. And without him, the movies don't really carry. That's why he ends up getting, first mention at the beginning of every film, after what, like the third one, I think.
Mhm.
So, or like from the third one on, he gets, top billing on there. So I don't think Robert Englund wanted to do it anymore. So I think he wanted this to be the end.
I could understand that, but it leaves us on such a cliffhanger, with Jason carrying his head and Robert Englund as Freddy giving us the wink and us going into the credits. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, every time you watch it, it's like, damn it, I wish we could have got a sequel to this
Uh-huh.
or seen where the story could have went.
Yep.
Yeah, and then finding out that Bruce Campbell would have been in there,
Mhm.
I mean, my good he would have stole the show, if
Yeah.
I'm being honest, like, with his dialogue thrown into this group, I just I can only imagine, like, a little back and forth between him and Freddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Um, he's kind of I don't know. Ash is kind of, yeah, he went to, save the girl and Evil Dead and things like that, and wanted to save everybody. But in a way, Ash is kind of a chicken when it comes to a lot of things. He's rather tuck and run until he's pretty much forced into, and then he becomes a hero, you know?
Yeah.
And which it's good, but it's kind of one of those ones where I think, like, with the nod at the end, the wink at the end, that was just to please Freddy fans and Jason fans alike, basically saying that neither one actually really won, you know?
Yeah. We'll call it a tie.
Yeah, and that just made sure everybody was pleased at that point.
Boo.
all right, well, why don't we I'll get into a trailer for the film. We'll get a plot synopsis read off and then we'll come back with some numbers, fun facts, and our favorite categories on the film and continue dissecting this one.
All right.
All right.
Warn your friends. Warn everyone.
Welcome to my nightmare.
We're not safe awake or asleep.
Why won't you die? Freddy versus Jason.
Place your bets.
Having been trapped in hell since his last defeat, Freddy Krueger can no longer invade children's dreams, as the adults of Springwood have gone to extremes to forget about him by wiping public records and committing anyone who dreams of him to Weston Hills Psychiatric Hospital, where they are administered the dream suppressant Hypnosil. Using the last of his power, Freddy resurrects Jason Voorhees after his own defeat and appears as Jason's mother, Pamela Voorhees, to manipulate him into carrying out a massacre on Elm Street. The resulting fear would allow Freddy to regain his power. During a sleepover with her friends Kia and Gibb's emotionally abusive boyfriend Trey, and his friend Blake, Jason murders Trey and then kills Blake and his father. Laurie's ex-boyfriend Will Rollins and his friend Mark Davis, who are patients at Weston Hills due to their previous contact with Freddy, see a news report about the killings and decide to escape to warn Laurie. That night, Laurie and her friends attend a rave in a cornfield. Freddy tries to kill Gib in a nightmare, but Jason kills her first in the real world and goes on a rampage at the rave, angering Freddy, who realizes that Jason's killing spree will deny him of victims. The friends escape the rave with school nerd Charlie and stoner Bill. Will reveals to Laurie that he witnessed her father killing her mother and that he had him put in the hospital to keep him from revealing the truth, and they soon witness Mark getting killed by Freddy. Deputy Scott Stubbs helps the teens. Learning about Hypnosil, they try to steal it from Weston Hills to suppress their dreams. However, Freddy possesses Bill and disposes of the medicine. During the search, Jason kills Stubbs. Shortly after, the possessed Bill tranquilizes Jason, but before the tranquilizer takes effect, Jason slashes Bill in half and then falls asleep. The teens devise a plan to pull Freddy from the dream world into reality and force him to fight Jason, bringing the unconscious Jason back to Camp Crystal Lake in New Jersey. Freddy fights Jason in the dream world, where he discovers that Jason has a fear of drowning. He uses this to his advantage, causing Jason to revert to his younger self. Laurie goes to sleep to pull Freddy out and save Jason. Freddy tortures Laurie in her dream, revealing that he murdered her mother. Jason awakens at the real Camp Crystal Lake and pursues the teens. Around the same time, Laurie wakes up and pulls Freddy into the physical world, where Jason confronts him. And during this conflict, Charlie fights off Jason in an attempt to save Kia and is thrown into a wall and impaled on a shelf bracket. Kia and Charlie get to safety, with Kia promising to come back with help for Charlie, but he bleeds out against a tree and dies as she runs for help. As Freddy and Jason fight throughout the campgrounds, Kia sacrifices herself by distracting and taunting Freddy, allowing Laurie and Will to escape, and is killed by Jason. As Freddy gains the upper hand, Laurie distracts him, allowing Jason to punch through his torso. Freddy plunges Jason's machete into his side, and Jason rips off Freddy's gloved arm. Laurie and Will set the dock on fire, causing an explosion that throws Freddy and Jason into the lake. Freddy climbs out and is about to kill the pair, but is impaled by Jason with his own gloved arm, allowing Laurie to behead Freddy with Jason's machete. Jason, Freddy's head, and his body sink into the lake, seemingly dead. The next morning, Jason emerges from the lake, holding his machete and Freddy's head. Freddy winks at the camera, leaving the overall winner ambiguous.
All right, let's go for the numbers.
So Freddy vs. Jason had a budget of $30 million and a box office return of $116.6 million worldwide. But with inflation numbers to today, that would be a $52.8 million budget and a $205.2 million return, with an average of 76% increase for inflation.
My goodness. My absolute goodness. It killed. It absolutely crushed in the box office. And yet again, no sequel.
Yeah, I definitely would love to see a sequel. Maybe one more,
Yeah.
just one more.
I mean, only if they can do another like pinball scene like they did with Jason. I want to hear those classic pinball noises, you
Yeah,
know?
my kid walks in, he's like, Freddy's over there humping the air and Jason's flying all over the place. I said, yes, I know. I do.
Scenes like that are fun, but it's like, uh, if you include, like we spoke on earlier, like if you include Ash in something like this, it's going to take the cheesiness factor, I think, like way up. This film's going to
Oh,
be
yeah.
a little way less serious, and things. It's almost going to turn into like a B type horror movie and not like the normal Friday the 13th that
Yeah.
the early on that they were trying to put out, like they were actually trying to be scary.
Well, look what they did with the latest Evil Dead movies.
Oh, yeah.
There's no sarcasm, no comedy whatsoever.
No, it's just straight horror
Yeah, and having Campbell in there, you
at the
get
very end.
you get a little bit of comedy, but it's like he still can be serious and be a trained killer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And where these other ones is just 100% serious fact.
Boo.
Well, if
Great,
you would have
that's boring.
if you would have given us like a Freddy versus Jason that we got, like how there's a little couple comedic parts in here, or like you said, the pinball machine with the sound effects mixed with like a 2013 Evil Dead, like where it's still bloody and gruesome with like some scares, I'd be all for that.
Yeah, or what about a different combination, like taking Bruce Campbell and as Ash against Michael Myers, and just kind of mixing it up a little bit, we did the Freddy versus Jason, but it's kind of like you can't put Jason with Michael, that would just wouldn't there wouldn't be any dialogue, but
No.
I mean, you have to have kind of the sarcasm, the funny factor, and then with the seriousness, so that's why, like, I don't know if Freddy and Ash would be a good combo because, it'd almost be leaving Jason outside, just kind of sitting there twiddling his thumbs.
Yeah, they would just back and forth. It's like the kid that's waiting for his parents to stop talking.
Yeah. 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 Exactly. Yeah.
Look what I could do.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, getting different combinations like that, like,
Ooh, what about Ash versus Chucky?
yeah, but you know what? He's very inventive with mixing man with machine, so he could just mix himself with like a lawnmower
Mhm.
and then just run Chucky over.
Yep.
I'm a
What other
very
appliances can he
firm
go into? Let's go into that.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
spend the next hour talking
Yeah.
about
Blender for a hand. You just have to. You got to come in here. You got to come in here. Stick your hand in here.
I'm a very firm believer that I could take Chucky out very easily. I don't know how he's killing all these grown
I know.
folks.
I mean, they make him look like he's so fast when he's running, but when you actually look at it and gauge it, and you're like, okay, he's actually not that fast. Like, I could probably tee him up before he got to me, and then just drive him about 40 yards.
like that the first Child's Play movie where the kid he's in the police station and then he looks out and he sees Chucky climbing the stairs on the outside of the police station and he's just climbing it like 1 foot at like he has to get both feet on each step at a time. I'm like, seriously, we're running from
Yeah.
this?
Or he's on an army base or
Yeah, oh
something
my
of army school, and for some reason he is beating trained military personnel and just going through them, killing them. Like, that makes a whole lot of sense.
We're gonna have to have him on when we do some Chucky films.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
I got some more numbers for you here for Freddy
All right.
versus Jason. It is rated a 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb. It has a 42% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, a 2.7 out of 5 on Letterboxd, a 37% rating on Metacritic, and then, of course, I have our two favorite numbers here. Freddy is on screen for about 14 minutes and 15 seconds, or about 14.5% of the film. And there are 21 total deaths in this film, including 20 by Jason and only one by Freddy Krueger. So that averages to one kill every 4.9 minutes in the film. But for Freddy, if we're counting his one, it's about one every like 49 minutes. It's sad for Freddy in this film.
And are they counting the kills, like, even the dream kills, like, like the girl that was running and on the pier and jumped off the pier and then she got killed, but she's not really
I think she
real?
was. Yeah, I think she was never real. I think she was
No,
just.
no, I know she wasn't, but I mean, do they
Did they
count
count?
that
Oh,
as
did
a
they
kill?
count it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
'cause I mean,
believe they in the actual kill counts they have been counting those.
okay,
oh my goodness.
okay.
I feel like that was a bit of a ripoff on that one.
It was, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, in Jason's mind, it was a kill, but I'm sure he's killed that person about 5,000 times
Yeah,
because I'm sure this is his, this has got to be almost like his version of heaven in a way. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
mean,
Just
They
keep killing.
yeah, he
they
just keeps getting what he wants.
they
How does that work out for
they
master
did
like
count
that?
that in the kills.
Okay, all right,
Ah, called
yeah,
it.
but it's almost like an affinity number if you think about it,
Yeah.
because it probably happened so many times over and over again, and probably still happening actually.
So I will give you something.
I don't know.
I will compare Freddy's screen time in this film to Jason's screen time if you are curious. Jason is
I'm
on
super curious.
screen for 12 minutes and 2 seconds, or just about 12.5% of the film.
So Freddy got more time.
Freddy got about 2 minutes more screen time in this.
Huh. And yet Jason killed more.
Jason
Yeah,
killed 20
Like a lot.
people to his one.
wow. And then you get a bunch of, you know, I've got to say, well, once we get into this, I've got plenty to say of their casting on some of these characters. Plenty to say, plenty to say.
All right, so that is all the numbers I have for you then. Adrian, do you want to get into our favorites categories so Drew can kind of speak his piece, or do you want to run through fun facts quick?
Let's go through favorites. Let's knock that out.
All right, do you want to lead with your favorite character from the film?
Yes. All right. Favorite character was Deputy Stubbs. Lachlan Monroe. That dude, I knew him from Night at the Roxbury. I knew him from several different movies before I knew him in this. And the fact that he was in this it was just so awesome to me, and I loved every single second of it.
See, when I hear that, most people that I hear know him from Scary Movie or White Chicks.
Oh yeah, definitely White Chicks.
They never go they never go back to Freddy vs. Jason, and I'm like, hey, he was in Freddy vs. Jason, and they're like, what? Yeah, he was a deputy. Like, hello? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah. My only problem with that actor is he tends to play the same role no matter what he's doing. He's one of those actors that I feel like every time I see him in something, he's pretty much the same personality, emotion, just very monotone. He's recognizable, but is he recognizable in a good way? You know, and um, it's not like I have a super big problem with him. I just feel like he plays the same type of character in everything he does.
Wow. Okay. All right. When we get to your favorite character, I'll bash him too. That's fine.
Go for it, good buddy.
All right, Drew, do you wanna speak
Yeah.
yours and I'll go last?
Sure. Yeah, mine's Mark, Brandon Fletcher. And the only reason I like Mark as his character is I kind of feel like if they would have listened to him 90% of the time and just done everything he recommended, like he just wanted to cut tail and run, get out of the town. And as we know in these movies that you can pretty much leave the town and you're pretty well off. It doesn't like to carry over. Freddy doesn't really carry out of out of the town very well. And I think with him, he just seemed like if they would have listened to him and done what he said from the start and everything else like that, I think a lot more people would be alive right now in this film. And his emotion and his acting and his whole character was just like, listen to me, we will live. This person is a psychopath. Do not give him any chances to take anybody out, and let's go,
I
But I
did
mean,
like
he's kind of one of those characters also that just really has only like one real true weakness, and that's his brother. You know what I mean? That's his weakness in a way. And Freddie obviously recognized that and used that against him.
Yes, he did.
Mark is a good character. I definitely like he's a standout character. He's like our info dump character, and he's a fun character in this. I ended up going with Will, and I don't know what it was about Will. He's like the caring like lover boy like that. That's not what drew me towards him, but like he's trying to like do everything he can to like he listens to Mark in a way, but not like you said, fully to where like he could have saved their lives, but like he's trying to save Lori. He tries to get to Mark and help him. Like he's just one of those friends who's caring and like you could see yourself being that character. Like, oh, like you're trying to protect like your first love or like your best friend or something like that and figure out the truth. So like he was the one that like I always like gravitated towards.
Yeah, I can see that. I think he was good in this film. I mean, he's got the genetics, obviously, being John Ritter's son and everything. But he the only problem is when he got around Lori, they both acted like very cringe together. Like, almost like she had like a wounded animal look on her face constantly. And then when he showed up, it was like he was doing it too, like I just imagine the face that Ben Stiller makes, in
Oh my goodness! Now I can't think of the movie.
oh my
It's
gosh, Zoolander.
Zoolander.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Where the faces he makes there, it's just like that wounded animal look, and it's like,
I call this one Blue Steel.
yeah, it's like, oh my god,
Early
bad happened.
2000s cringe. Yep.
Instead of saying, hey, let's just suck it up and move on, and like keep going. We both know that either one of them did not, slight the other. It was all her father's fault, and but he's very good, and I think this is one of his first roles, right? Uh, Ritter's first roles, or did he
Let's find out.
Yeah.
I got it up here. Days of Our Lives.
Okay.
Dreamer of Oz.
Yeah.
It's
These are all
definitely
when he was
his
a kid because it was like 1991, 92.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of wondering if this is probably one of his first movies that were
Oh no, he played in Swim Fan. Remember that movie?
okay.
All right.
PG, Earth Day, and then some TV stuff. But I mean, regardless, for him to be, what he is now, he's a great actor.
Yes.
Yeah, I never said the acting in this particular film was very
Right.
good, but I mean, there are
Right.
definitely some spots that are cringe
Oh,
or,
yeah.
notice that none of us picked any of the girls or our final girl, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that's because some of the acting.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, like I really actually like Kelly Rowland in this film.
Did you?
Surprisingly enough, like she didn't seem some of the other actresses, and what's crazy is that you've got what's her face? Catherine Isabel, right? Who has done, she did Ginger Snaps back in the day, and I remember watching that movie when I was a kid and seeing both those actresses, go on to basically playing like they were on Supernatural and on this film, and just seeing them go on, move on to other things. Because like I love Ginger Snaps. I love that movie.
Good
And
movie.
but seeing her in there, her acting just wasn't just on point really. You know what I mean? And Monica Keena, her acting was just subpar. But I actually thought, Kelly Rowland did an actually, more realistic, believable teenager role, because I mean, let's be real, none of them were teenagers at this point. So for the most part.
What?
Yeah.
It's what they call movie magic.
And then the cornfield looked really fake. Just gotta point that out.
I
Wow,
just
you're
like
just shattering everything.
No, I love this movie. I really do. But I mean, I got to point out the corny stuff just because it just makes it more enjoyable, anyways.
Connor, we can go ahead and kick him off. That's fine.
I just liked Adrian's like as soon as you said you liked Kelly Rowland's acting, he goes, "Really?"
Oh my goodness, that was
Which-
all of hers was cringe.
but it's kind of a dig at her in a way, though, because I mean, she's really like she plays the dumb. She's not blonde, but blonde type teenager,
Yeah.
role in this film, and she does it very well. So it's not really necessarily a good thing either.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So I'll go first for my favorite score for the film, and I ended up choosing one that was called The Dock, and that it was just it was like the ending portion of the fight between Freddy and Jason, and it was just like really rhythmic and like upbeat, and like hearing something in the background that you can kind of like nod your head to while these two are duking it out is like all I want for a film. Like it's almost like a little music video with them two duking it out on the dock and battling back and forth, and eventually Freddy gets the better of Jason, and then Jason has the better of Freddy, and it's just it's an all around like good score that encompasses the scene well. So I went with one titled The Dock.
Ah, man, you got me on that one. The same one for me is the doc because it like you said, it's a great. This whole soundtrack actually was really good, and but that song in particular, revolving around that scene, perfect. It was just phenomenal. I loved it.
I didn't know if you would have the one for that, Drew, or not. So
I do like when Freddy basically Freddy smokes out the stoner guy. The real psychedelic type music that was
Yeah.
really kind of funny. It was a little kind of interlude into the next scene, but it was just kind of like that one. On the fly, yeah. What is that instrument called? It's an Indian instrument, isn't it? Instrument from India.
It's something with the S.
You got me beat on that one.
No, see, I've heard it before. I mean, I've heard the name before, and I think he's right.
A sitar.
A sitar. There we go. So it seems like something from Greek mythology or something,
I was introduced to the sitar by Courage the Cowardly Dog. I don't know if y'all remember that show.
Absolutely remember that show.
Such a great show, but Mariel, she played the sitar, and she played that one tune, and that tune is still stuck in my head. You know what? I'm gonna change my ringtone to that little riff that she does.
It's actually quite dark of a television show, like a cartoon. It's very kind of dark. It's got very dark undertone.
Oh yeah, okay. So all the TV shows that I grew up with were all dark. Like let's go with Invader Zim, dark as hell. There's a little alien talking about taking over the world. And then there's an episode in there where he harvests all children's organs because he finds out they're gonna do a physical, and someone makes brings up that they're gonna see that his organs are not like human organs, and so it's called Dark Harvest. And then there's Courage the Cowardly Dog. Um, oh my goodness, what other shows did I grow up with? What was my childhood?
Yeah. Yeah, mine was a little bit further in the past. I grew up with Thundercats and G.I. Joes and the original Ninja Turtles, so
There you go.
yeah.
Those are great shows. I watched those too. They were reruns at this point.
Yeah. See, I watched them when they first came out, so
All the reruns of like Scooby Doo and all
Oh, yeah.
that stuff.
yeah, I did watch reruns of that stuff, but Tom
Goodness,
and Jerry.
what shows did I watch when I was a
Uh,
kid? But
You
those two definitely come up whenever I think about them. Yeah, they were dark, and they definitely influenced goth culture. I will say that.
mhm.
So, Drew, did you have a favorite quote from the film? It can be, you can have one in general and then one from Freddy Krueger, or it can be one from Freddy himself, or it can pretty much be whatever you want it to be.
Let me let's see. Uh
Please don't say dark meat.
no, because that's not a good thing. No, I'm not gonna say that.
I would. That line is absolutely amazing. I don't care.
I could say yours. I could say yours, Adrian, because I know what yours are, and then that would be funny.
You do. They're on the screen
I
right
just
now.
say it. Well, I did okay, where she said, "Hi, Gib, what are you doing? I thought you were gonna quit. I only smoke when I drink now, but you're always drinking. Yeah, well, I'll work on that next."
That was my first laugh of the film. I'll say that on the rewatch.
Yes. Because you've always heard that, I've heard that to many people, and many people have said that to other people and, whatnot, so.
Oh, that was funny. That was my first taste of cringe in the movie. I giggled at it, yes, but I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that was cringy."
Yeah, just a little bit.
Or when
Aren't y'all
they're
like 15?
when they're doing the Mary fuck
Yeah.
kill, like Fred, Scooby, and Shaggy, like that was a little cringe for me. Like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a little bit off-putting, because I mean, it came out during an age, early 2000s. It kinda came out during an age of, you know, making things breaking the fourth wall on a lot of things and really just kind of making things cringe because I guess it was the fashion at the time.
It really was. There's a lot of cringy stuff back then.
Yeah, and nobody ever really like, back at that time, it wasn't as cringe, I don't think. Now looking back, definitely cringe, but
Um,
back then, it was just kinda like the time period, was let's make a horror movie, a super slash movie where they fold somebody in half after stabbing him straight through the chest, fold him in half, and then make off-putting, like, games, that refer to Scooby-Doo and Freddy Krueger and other people, it's kind of ironic.
we're not gonna talk about the fashion sense in early 2000s.
No.
We're not gonna go in that.
No.
most of the things that were okay when we were younger are politically incorrect nowadays.
Correct. Oh, yeah. Can't even wear certain T-shirts now.
Rude as hell. What about you, Connor? What's your favorite quote?
My quote is gonna be politically incorrect because I don't care. Mine came from Kia, and the first time I seen it, I laughed. The 100th time I've seen this film, I laughed, and on the most recent rewatch, I laughed my ass off. And it's when she looks at Freddy and goes, "What kind of faggot runs around in a Christmas sweater?" I don't care who you are nowadays. That is hilarious back in 2003.
Oh yeah, and you could see him kind of like backing away for a second, and he was just like, like you could see a little bit that he got offended.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
we're not out here to hurt nobody's feelings, so nobody listening, like, don't get butt hurt. It's a quote from a movie that we're reviewing, and it just happened to be the one that gave me the biggest laugh out of the film, so I chose that one.
Okay, so my favorite quote was uh, from Freeberg. Yeah, from Freeberg. He's like, they're talking about Freddy Krueger, and he goes, "Man, screw that clown. I mean, what kind of pussy comes after you in the dreams, anyways?" Now, that big ass motherfucker back in the cornfield, all right, that's who we should be afraid of. Tell me, who the fuck was that? I laughed so
Yeah.
hard during that scene. I was like, you know what? He speaks the truth.
Yeah.
Dude, that
Yeah,
goalie was
but
pissed
again,
about
they learned
something.
that one can actually be physically stopped, the other one cannot, unless you pull on his kryptonite, Freddy's
Mhm.
kryptonite, the thing that seems to always beat him, no matter you know what they burn him, holy water. What does he say? I mean, there's a whole quote from him that says it, but
Yeah,
there's only one real thing that kills Freddy, and just don't know how it resets all the time, though.
Because they need to make more money.
exactly.
Correct. But somehow they reset that every single time.
Yeah.
I
I did have
I
a Freddy quote that I love. It was whenever he's just slashing the crap out of Jason. He's bleeding out everywhere, and then he just goes to Jason, "Why won't you die?"
I like the
Yeah.
one at the end from Freddy when they're fighting on the dock and Freddy has Jason down. He's hitting him with his glove and Jason's machete, and he's saying to him, he goes, "You can dish it out, but you can't take it." I had to use subtitles years ago to figure out what he was saying in that specific spot, because it was like a little jumpy between like him slicing up Jason while he's got him on the ground, and I was like, "What in the hell is he saying?" And that was one of the ones I liked from Freddy, just a little shit talk from him to Jason while he's whooping on him.
Yeah, yeah, just Freddy. Even whenever he's getting his ass whooped, he still talks shit.
Well, that's who Freddy is.
With
Freddy, but I mean, in all reality, he's he is Freddy still, but he's also a demon too. So he's not
Yeah,
really afraid of anything, to be honest.
no, no. I mean, the freaking the 8 movies that we've watched. Um, he gets his ass whooped in almost every single one of them. At some
Yeah,
point, Freddy gets his shit rolled.
yeah. That's something that you rarely see from Jason too. Is Jason doesn't really get beat that often. You know,
No,
um,
there's that one time in Jason, uh, Manhattan.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I can't
yeah.
yeah, where the
Oh,
boxer, yeah, he's just beating the crap out of
I
him, and
know.
he's, like, stumbling, and then you're like, "Oh, man, he's gonna actually get away," and
Nope,
then he just goes with the haymaker and
nope.
takes the dude's head off. Like, "Oh,
Yeah,
okay, never mind."
yeah. Jason can be very. There's a lot of armor plot for Jason, though. Really, I mean, but then again, it's also the plot, the armor plot for the victims too. I mean,
Mhm.
it's like if you actually just keep running in a straight line, more than likely you're gonna outrun him. I mean, yeah, he's gonna eventually, you're gonna run into people, cops, anything, but just run in a straight line. Stop stopping because he doesn't really have a supernatural nose. Somehow he does, but just run in a straight line in one direction, and then you'll get away from Crystal Lake most of the time. Not going to attack you outside of Crystal Lake unless it's Jason 10 or the one where he goes to Manhattan. Yeah. Jason in space, like, come on now. That movie should never have been made.
Oh, how dare you. That movie was pure gold.
Mhm.
I loved that
Gold
movie. It was
turds.
so funny. That one gave me, like, some Freddy Krueger vibes, like A Nightmare on Elm Street, the late movies. It gave me that kind of vibe the whole time.
I mean, and then they made him pretty much like adamantium,
Mhm.
and you can't actually kill him at this point. It's like, what do you do? Throw him out the airlock.
I I might be with Adrian on this one. I like Jason X.
Really? Wow.
Woo!
Wow.
I
And
do. It's cheesy fun. I have a weakness for cheesy fun.
yeah, I do too, but that one I think a little too far for my liking.
Do I even have to ask either of you what your favorite scene was? I'm sure it's the fight scene, but is there a specific part of the fight scene? Or if I'm wrong, is it a different scene?
Mm. You want to take this, Drew?
Okay. I actually like the scene where Freddy's just kind of talking crap to him. He's as Jason's mom, Jason's mom, and just sitting there, just going off on him, and just basically, calling him a brainless, dumb animal. Pretty much what he is, anyways. But pretty much calling him that. I just that was very entertaining, and it really fit the movie somehow. I don't know how the corniness fit, but it worked.
You're a dog, Jason.
Yeah. Listen to mother.
I thought that was a really good scene as well because I mean, it did fit very well, and I mean, it told pretty much the whole movie. I mean, what all was happening with Freddy unleashing Jason on this town, and now, hey, Freddy's back, but now he can't shut off Jason.
Like letting a wild animal loose and not being able to recatch him. Yeah.
Tisk tisk tisk,
Tisk
Freddy.
tisk.
Of course, I went with the ending battle, but
Yeah.
I like the scenes where they're up close and personal. They're like when Freddy kind of like run and gun like goes after Jason, and he's like kicking him in the face and slashing him, and Jason punches him, and he lands on like the propane tanks, and like just like that whole section where like the propane tanks are like shooting at Jason and things like that. Like there was a lot of like clever things they did with this in the fight scene. Like it wasn't just like a knock 'em sock 'em like punching and like slashing. Like they I don't remember exactly what it was, but they used like a concrete mixer or something like that that was swinging. What the hell was that? That was swinging and hitting Jason that Freddy was using.
I have no idea what it was, but I think that thing only exists inside this movie.
No, I know what it was, but now I'm just brain fart. Like I just don't. I must have looked away at that part. Now I don't have it in my head to remember what it was. Because I mean, I do work in construction anyway, so I should know these things.
You should.
I think it was a concrete mixer, but again, could be wrong.
Yeah.
Well, then you got the rebar that Freddy slashes, and like they all fall on Jason. There was just a lot of different things that Ronnie Yu and like the producers and stuff came up with for the fight scene to make it a little more interesting. He's sending him through the window of the cabin and like running him down the windowsill and things like that. Like that gave me a laugh in the movie. It's a fun film. Like
It
for as
really is.
cheesy as some of the scenes are in it, like, the fight scenes in this are, like, gold between Freddy and Jason.
Oh, yeah. My favorite is the pinball scene
Yeah.
'cause it's just it's being so serious up until that point, and then it takes a huge left turn with throwing Jason all around and Freddy's humping the air, and then you get the pinball noises. It took me it was pure comedy gold.
So
Eh,
you like the Freddy Dream World more than the Jason world, like the real world?
I did enjoy that, just 'cause it was, you have more things that you can do in the dream world, and there are some better kills on with Freddy just for how inventive he can be. And then with Jason, it's just like he pops up and then he slashes, or he delivers a nasty haymaker, or he takes somebody in their sleeping bag and then whacks them against the tree, which is one of my favorite kills if we're talking about Jason.
Mhm.
That was awesome.
One thing I kind of wondered as well, and I thought it was kind of we call them on my me and my brother's show, we call it a Rachel moment. And you think about it, he gets it in the dream world, and just to show that he has a weakness, Freddy cowers in the dream world right before he thinks Jason's about to attack him. Now, if he's in the dream world and he's in total control there, which he is, he's able to make constructs and things like that. Why did he cower? You know?
I got this one, Connor. I got it. I got it. Just simmer down. I
Mhm.
see. I can feel you getting up out of your chair. Start to stretch. Getting after Drew. I'll get this one. Don't worry. I got it. So just like in Dream Warriors, the third movie, which is one of the best, um, the people that the dreams are based around. they can actually take over and they can do their own thing. And so the Dream Warriors, I mean, they attacked Freddy at one point. Actually, at almost every movie, they have
Mhm.
gone back and turned that shit back on it. So I think it's the same with Jason, just because he's, just this animal going to kill and this demon, um, he still has control in his dream. He still thinks if he believes he is a certified badass and that nothing can take him, he's gonna still show it in his dreams.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, because it's established that you know, Freddy in that world is he rules that world. But I think it was just kind of a way to show, oh, look, here Jason has a weakness. We can't show that weakness in the wild because that would lure Jason, have to be luring Jason towards the lake, which Jason doesn't really go towards the lake. He stays away from it. So I think it was just kind of a corny way to show the fact that he's afraid of water, like kind of really like duh for us. Obviously, you might have nothing but Freddy watchers that didn't know that Jason was killed a certain type of way or whatever. So maybe that. But I think it was just kind of a corny way of showing Jason's afraid of water or something.
See, that's a big complaint of mine with this film, because in like Friday the 13th, part four, like Jason's hiding in the water and kills one of
Uh-huh.
the teenagers. In
Yep.
Friday the 13th, part six, he willingly walks into the water after Tommy Jarvis, and Jason takes Manhattan. He's swimming in the water
Uh-huh.
to
Yep.
get onto the boat. Like, what? What are we doing? Like the inconsistency, like that afraid of water thing brings this film down a letter grade for me. It drives me nuts.
We will get into that in the fun facts. I have a good one for you.
All right, well, I will give you my favorite kill from the film, and then if you guys had one, feel free to give yours as well, and then Adrian, you can lead with a fun fact.
All right.
So my favorite kill in the film was Trey, and he's the asshole boyfriend. He's rude to give the entire beginning of the film, and he's somebody that he's probably the only character in this film that you 100% root to die, and you always have one in horror films, or usually you have at least one that you can root for. Like, yeah, he's a douche, or he's rude, he's this, and he deserves what he gets. And Trey absolutely does, and he gets it terribly, like you said, when Jason kind of stabs him multiple times through his chest when he's laying on the bed, and then folds him up inside the bed. And I think it was like a statement for what this movie is going to be. Like, it's going to be brutal, but it's also going to be kind of cheesy and fun. So like I feel like that kill kind of set the tone, and it was well deserved.
Yes. I'm with you on that one because I was rooting for his death. Whenever actually me and my wife, whenever we were watching the movie, she's like, "Oh, that guy's such a dick." And she's like, "I hope he dies." She looked over at me, she's like, "Does he die?" And I was like, "Oh, baby, just watch." No redemption arc
Yeah,
whatsoever.
that's definitely one of my favorites, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
In this.
Wow. Three-way agreement.
Yeah, it's not my favorite though.
Oh, wow. Okay, never
It,
mind. I take it back.
the my favorite's it's the most simple one. It's where that guy's just talking in a cornfield and Jason just stab. Like he's in the middle of having a conversation, trying to talk to Jason. Just like, I don't got time for you. Bop. Done. Done. And then that other guy is just kind of like, what the starts to run like just unbelievable. Like Jason's like, I did not want to listen to this guy. So,
I'm done.
call it quits.
I am done with you.
Yes. Yes.
I don't have the social skills to navigate this conversation. So I'm gonna deal with you how I know how to deal with
Yep.
you.
Yep.
It's such like a cheesy like way to snap somebody's neck or like kill them like that, but like it's such a fun way to do it as well. Like that was my number two for like if I had to have a runner
Yeah.
up, like that would have been it. Cause that's just hilarious. It's a good laugh for the film.
Oh yeah.
Now that was really good. That was my number 3. My number 2 was the flaming machete. That came just
Oh yeah.
Just
You knew he was gonna get hit with it. You
Yeah.
know, it was coming.
Yeah, I mean, he set Jason on fire, and then machetes on fire,
Yep.
and I was like, "Oh man, he's just chasing him through this cornfield, this super realistic cornfield." And next thing you know, he's like, "Oh, I made it to the party. I'm safe." And you just see the machete
Nope.
just come up.
So I think that is all we have for our favorites category in that one. And of course Adrian he's excited to get us into some fun facts. So I'll let you lead on those.
All right, here it is. You, the director, you requested in his contract to have many script changes altered, like backstories for the characters, and even added in plot holes, like Jason being afraid of water. So while you did a lot of great things for this movie, he he tanked it on that one. That was a swing and a miss. Definitely gave us a big plot hole there, and but I also feel like he had to because Jason just completely overpowered.
Yeah, you had to give Jason a weakness somehow. You had to find something that Freddy could use against him, or this was easily going to be a one-sided fight.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it's just I think their weaknesses were just so easily defeatable. You know, it's like you just bring Freddy back and just overpower him. He's got a little bit of supernatural strength in the real world, but
Hmm.
I mean, really, you know, you take. I mean, I think you know he's only what 5'6", 5'7", or something like that in real life. You know, Robert England, but uh, you know, you going against somebody who's like 6'6", it's very hard for one to defeat the other, you know, and but in the long run, Jason, you hit him with a truck. Normally, you think that that would take him out, but as we can see with Michael Myers and with Jason, that doesn't work. Look,
Robert England is 5'10".
really,
Yeah.
he does not seem that tall of a man. He's taller than you.
You shut your mouth. Nobody listen to that. I am
He's super short, super short
I am like 6'17"
in his dreams.
and I am a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, horse maybe it comes out of his backside. That's about it.
Whatever. We can kick him off now.
Well, my first one for you here is that James Wan was originally going to direct this film, but he was already committed to directing Saw from 2004 and was busy with other film projects as well.
Oh, that would've been good. Drew,
Uh,
you got some?
It was good for him. It was good
Yeah.
for Juan. Um, this is actually, I don't know if it's been mentioned, but it is Freddy's, or Robert Englund's last time playing Freddy.
Yes.
And, he did some memorial thing. It was weird, but it was just something separate. But he said this was like the last time he would don the suit and the makeup and everything else. But yeah, this was his last portrayal of Freddy, and I really like who they replaced him with, even though he only did one film. You know, um, I just I just thought he did such a good role in The
Watch.
Watchmen,
Mhm.
and he just I thought they picked the right one for that one.
Yeah, good old Jackie.
Yeah, Jackie Earle Haley, but regardless, you know, this is the last time. This is a very iconic role. It's the reason he got that star, you know, Walk of Fame recently. What was it, last month?
Yeah.
I think it was. But he got his his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but which is ironic because he didn't get it for anything else besides Freddy Krueger. You know, not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's who he became, and that's who he's known for. He's not known for any other role that he's ever done, to be honest with you. I mean,
He is like the horror godfather. Like
yeah,
if he pops up in any TV show, typically it is either a scary TV show or it's on a Halloween episode of a TV show.
yeah, yeah. Y'all ever watch Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
You see Scary
No.
Terry?
You've never seen Rick and Morty?
I've seen clips, but I can't do it. Something about that. Maybe I need to give it another try.
Watch the episode with, I think it's the first season, but watch the episode with Scary Terry. It's they making fun of Freddy Krueger, and he just says bitch after every single thing he says. So he'll be like, "Oh, thanks, bitch," But it's hilarious because it's just kind of a mock fun of Scary Terry or of Freddy Krueger, but Scary Terry. Watch that episode, even if it's just a clip. It's hilarious.
Like they even he's got little swords
Yeah,
instead of
for
little
fingers,
knives for
yeah.
fingers. And then they're like, "What is that guy?" He's like, "I don't know. He's got little swords for fingers, and he has this weird looking Christmas sweater, which is just far enough away so we don't get sued."
Yeah. It's really good though. It's pretty interesting with it. But no, Robert Englund, I mean, he did, I don't think anybody could have done the role better than him. I mean, I know in what part 2 it was that they actually were going to just use this. No, maybe it was the first film. Maybe no, it was part 2. But they were going to use a stunt double just to play his role. Like they didn't want him having really any lines necessarily, maybe a slide here and there, but then they were like, okay, they tried it without it, and the director was like, "I don't know what I was thinking." So he went and apologized and was like, "Yep, we're gonna give you all your demands." So,
Yeah.
again, it's a very iconic role.
Yeah, and by the way, Ken Kersinger, who played Jason, is 6'5". So that is a full 15 inches shorter than I am. Just gonna let y'all know.
Yeah.
Whatever. All right, so back to me. Okay, Ken Kersinger, he got the part of Jason when he went to New Line Cinema for an interview for a stunt coordinating job. The producers noticed his physical looks and asked him to audition for the role of Jason, which I'm sure that just had him, they put the mask on him and like, "Hey, go stand over there." And he did, and they're like, "Okay, you're hired."
And he was the tallest, but he was the tallest person to ever play Jason too.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
All right, so my next one for you here is that Robert Englund was excited at the casting of Catherine Isabel as Gib, as he was a big fan of her cult film Ginger Snaps, a Canadian werewolf film. So I am again that's one of the films that I have been wanting to see, and I've never just taken the time to sit down and watch it.
Huh.
Wow.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Again, it's, show my age on that one, but, yeah, I watched it back in, like, early 2000s, I wanna say, like, 2003, 2, something like that, I think, but it was really good. It's kinda corny too, and I mean, the special effects aren't all that great. Alright, well, I got the $25 million budget of the film was the highest in Friday the 13th series. I can't believe that Jason in Space wasn't, millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars.
It was cheaper just to send him to space.
Yeah, can you imagine 20 not having, nowadays, it's like they're doing, like, even cheap films, $30 million just to produce it, and now they're talking about, like, big name films, $20 million back in the '80s or something,
Yeah, that's crazy. This is the only Freddy Krueger movie that does not have the word nightmare in the title.
Yeah.
I never put that together. So that's a good one.
Yeah.
I take
Yeah.
my bow. I take my bow.
Yeah. I guess so. I mean, even the title is a little bit corny too, right? Freddy versus Jason.
What's this movie about?
Yeah, they don't even use the word versus, they actually do the abbreviation of it.
So Betsy Palmer, who played Jason's mother in the original Friday the 13th, was asked to reprise her role of Mrs. Voorhees, but turned it down because she felt the role was too small for her to play.
Boo.
Hmm.
Boo on her for that one.
That's the thing, like, if I starred in a horror movie and I was killed or something and you wanted me to come back for some dream sequences or something like that, why not? I mean, you're gonna get paid. It may not be what you want, but you're gonna be in another film, especially 20 some odd years after she starred in the original.
What else was she doing in that time?
Yeah.
Sitting at home on her couch.
What? I mean, she couldn't have gotten away from Scrabble for
Nope.
one week.
Nope.
All expenses paid, flight out, and go film in the woods for it would have been only for like maybe a day,
Yeah.
and then get flown back. She could have knocked that out on the weekend.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, when the two kids, Mark and Will, they go to when all the kids actually go to the hospital, that hospital actually is the same hospital from the third film. Also, it's the hypnocil that Nancy uses in the third film is the same stuff that Will and Mark use. The same drug that basically keeps them from dreaming. So I thought that was kind of cool that they doing the tie-in.
Yeah, they kept that timeline original,
Mhm.
unlike Jason X.
Yeah. I don't even know what timeline that was.
Oh my goodness. If I'm not mistaken, it was 2024,
Yeah,
something like
probably
that.
something like that.
2455.
2455. Okay, no.
Okay, a little
Oh
bit
no,
further.
they mentioned in it. I think it was 2024 is when they abolished hockey in the movie.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's
Because I remember whenever that date came along,
yeah.
it popped up on my Facebook, and I shared it to like all my friends that are hockey fans. I was like, "Get ready, guys! This is the end of y'all's
Yeah.
year."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's go with in Bride of Chucky, 1998 film. Diane says about Chucky, "This little guy has a face only a mother could love." In this film, Freddy says a similar line about Jason. Said, "Now there's a face only a mother can love." Both films were directed by Ronnie Yu.
Which film do you guys like more out of those two?
Not Bride of Chucky, I'm gonna tell you that much. That movie was just not fun.
I I did not
So
like Bride of Chucky because it didn't have enough Jason in it. I'm being honest. I know that's being picky, but
well, you notice look at the Jasons, the Freddys, and the Chuckies, right? During this time period, they have movies coming out. They're super cheesy. They started back in the 80s where they were like real, a lot more serious, a lot more gory, a lot more scare, frightening. Then they get in the early 2000s and they all become like, parodies of themselves.
oh yeah.
And then later on in the 2000s, they remake them like they did Chucky. They remade that one.
Mhm.
And it was like, a lot more serious. The Freddy 2010 Freddy was a lot more serious, and then the Rob Zombie Jasons, uh, Friday the 13th and stuff like that were a lot more serious, So it's like just going with the time. But definitely the early 2000s is my least favorite version of these characters.
Ken Kersinger revealed that during filming the scene of the characters looking for the hypnocil in the insane asylum, special effects sparks landed on him, causing his costume to catch fire. And being a stuntman for over 20 years, Kersinger remained calm while stagehands rushed in with fire extinguishers to put him out.
Talk about being a master of your craft.
Well, and the fire stunt he goes through in this in the cornfield is just awesome. I love fire stunts in films, and like when you watch like the behind the scenes making and how they did it and stuff, it makes you that much more like it makes you appreciate that much more what the stuntmen go through.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, there was a while where nobody was really talking about stuntmen. And that was just like, "Oh, yeah, we're gonna have this guy do this, blah, blah, blah," and then that was it, like, they didn't get any real recognition. Like, stuntmen were just, "Your bodies are mine, and you're gonna do what I tell you," and then now they're being actually appreciated. And then the fact that this movie, they did appreciate it, and they, um, they talked about it, and they, actually thanked him for his work.
Like Keanu Reeves, in The Matrix, he gave all his people motorcycles.
Yeah,
Mm. For
totally awesome.
for being stunt doubles and you know kind of quite a gift there.
Yeah.
But I think now they actually have categories in like different award shows now for stunt. Give
Yes, they
them their
do.
flowers now.
Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah,
Good for them.
exactly.
Let's see. Okay, my last one is according to Robert Englund, his first time he heard of a what if crossover was when a fan approached him shortly after the release of A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, and told him, "Dude, you can totally kick Jason's ass." I don't know what that guy was smoking, um, but we needed to find him and we need to set him straight.
Mhm.
I feel like Drew is highly disagreeing with you.
Well,
Well, I got a couple here for you. I have 4 more. I got 2 of them that are decently long, so bear with me on those ones. But my first one is, during the film's long gestation period, at least 17 scripts were submitted, most of which dealt with cults that were attempting to resurrect Freddy and Jason come back and fight. These were eventually turned into one script that the producers decided for some time to go ahead with, but they eventually changed their minds, as they could not agree on the ideas proposed. Eventually, in 2001, Damian Shannon and Mark Swift came in to pitch their ideas without restrictions while they were working on another project for New Line Cinema. The two noted that most previous writers had ignored the mythology and history of the characters, so their approach was to basically keep it all intact, make it all count, don't discount the other movies, and the fans will love you for it. The producers felt that their script was indeed much closer to the Freddy and Jason backstories. So I I don't know if you guys have ever looked up some of the other scripts or anything like that, but there were some bonkers ideas out there involving like cults and things. Like I said, trying to resurrect Freddy and like bring the two back to fight each other. And so I think out of everything, we might have gotten the best script for the story.
Um, yeah, the cult of I've heard of the cult for, Jason. Um, like, they were gonna do that for a, um, Jason, to, like, kinda tie Jason in with the, Evil Dead universe, that they were going to, tie him in with the, was it Necronomicon?
Yes.
And yeah, and, that just never panned out, and I feel like if they went, like, the whole culty vibe, then that could have introduced the 2nd, movie where they include Ash, and that would have been very interesting, but I think that this storyline is definitely the best.
well, they did like with Jason Goes to Hell, they did a lot of mythology behind that one, and, what's kinda cool is that it came with a comic book when you bought that movie, and, the comic book kinda went more in detail of the story, and you can actually read a lot of different stories, and they've got some history with, you know, outlining Jason's history or whatnot. But in all actuality, like, you would think that Freddy's has a little bit more of a backstory, where Jason was just a kid that got bullied and killed and or basically thrown in a lake, and the counselors weren't paying attention, you know what I mean? I mean, granted, he has supernatural powers some way, somehow, but Freddy does too.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more lore in it. I loved what Wes Cravens did with, you know, doing kind of more like breaking the fourth wall with,
A New Nightmare?
yeah, with New
Yeah.
Nightmare.
What else do you got for us?
So the scene which featured Jason's bed kill was originally rejected by New Line Cinema studio executives, but screenwriters Mark Swift and Damian Shannon fought very hard for filming and keeping it. They acted it out on the floor trying to convince Ronnie Yu, and after he liked the idea, the scene was filmed and it turned out to be the biggest reaction of the audience during the test screening. So I'm absolutely glad they kept that because it turned out to be 2 of our favorite kills. So good for them on that.
Mhm. Yep.
And then, according to director Ronnie Yu, the special effects team used 300 gallons of fake blood for this movie. So, quite a lot of blood in this film.
Yeah, I wonder how much they used in Carrie.
Ooh.
Or
Oh,
the 2013 Evil Dead, like,
yeah,
those are some
yeah,
numbers I'd like to know.
yeah. Because I mean, they were straight raining down blood in that Evil Dead movie.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah.
We
Or,
have the
like, which one
technology.
had the most blood, like, what horror movie had the most blood used or
Yeah, and anybody listening across the pond, just type in Google um, gallons to liters conversion, and you'll get your
Yeah.
answer.
My last one for you here before we go into some final thoughts is in early drafts of the script, two twists were considered that would have connected the past of Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees. One considered twist was that Freddy either raped or had consensual sexual encounter with Jason's mother, and as a result had unknowingly fathered Jason. And then another twist considered was that Freddy had worked at Camp Crystal Lake in the past and had either molested Jason as a child or was somehow connected to his drowning, being a child murderer and a potential sexual offender, thus giving Jason a motivation to track down and kill Freddy. Both ideas were eventually dropped as producers felt they were too contrived and too dark for the film.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, took a dark turn there, didn't I?
Yeah.
That really did.
So that is all I have for fun facts on this film. That is all I have on our second time viewing Freddy vs. Jason on here. So, Adrian, do you want to lead us on some final thoughts before we get out of here?
Okay. Yeah, sure. Me, I absolutely love this movie. It is now and has been and forever shall be one of my top Freddy and Jason movies. It's one of my favorite horror movies or paranormal sci-fi
Mhm.
slasher, whatever subcategory you want to throw this one in, Drew. Because it's such a fun film to watch. It was a little cringy. You have to remember what era this came out in, and this film will forever hold a spot in my heart.
I I guess the question I want to ask you too, real quick before we get out of here on this. What would be another plot idea for this movie if they were to redo it today? What would be an idea for a plot? Now, this is what I would think, and it's just, you know, going to Crystal Lake, being Freddy pretty much taking over Jason, going to Crystal Lake and Jason going around killing people, but just it's Freddy in Jason's body,
Ooh,
right? And so it's
takeover.
like a whole new Friday the 13th, but it's Jason who is a lot more, conversal, a lot more animated, because of Freddy. Just a thought.
Mm.
So we're kind of body jumping like we
Yeah,
did in Jason Goes to Hell.
yeah, but
This is
the
this is a
reverse,
whole Freaky Friday
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, but I mean, what would be an idea of what you would say?
Ooh, I do like the idea of a cult of Jason,
Mhm, mhm.
and um, you have a cult of Jason invade. Was it Springwood? Springwood.
Springwood.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't know why I
yeah,
was thinking Springfield. I know Simpsons is Springfield, but
yeah. But I think if they decide to set up shop for some reason, like if somebody that they're going after decides to it gets away and then runs to Springwood. And then so the cult of Jason uproots and goes to Springwood, tries to kill that one person, and then now Freddy's involved. I think that would be a decent
yeah,
storyline.
kinda like coming to his hometown to do battle with him, but, you know yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's such a selfish person, he would just kill everybody anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cult and his own people.
What about
You
you,
guys
Connor?
you guys both have me beat because I got nothing for that. You give me 10 minutes, I'll come up with something.
We're firing off at the seat of our pants,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
drawing from the hip of this one.
I I I mean, I like the idea of, like, how they said one of the scripts said that, like, that Freddy Krueger was, like could have had something to do with Jason's drowning at the camp.
Mhm.
I don't like the sexual predator or offender part of
No,
that.
yeah.
But, like, having something to do with his drowning or, like, something like that, like, I could see
Mhm,
something like that kicking off and it being kind of like a revenge story or something, like, I mean, he was out for revenge originally for the
mhm.
girl who killed his mom, so you could make another revenge story out of it.
Yep, yep.
Ooh, what if he was one of the kids that bullied him and pushed him in the water? and Jason's going after all the kids that killed him.
Yeah.
And
There
then
you
lo and
go.
behold, Freddy's dead. But is he?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And the thing is like I don't like the fact with Freddy Krueger movies that, they kept on like the 2010 version, they really wanted to put in the fact that he was a child, you know,
Yeah.
pedo. You know what I mean? But it's like he was scary enough without that. That just kind of makes it super dark where it's almost like not watchable. You know what I mean?
That was our big concern or our
Yeah.
big gripe about the 2010 movie.
I mean, granted, he's a child serial killer. I understand that. But adding that into it just kind of and I read that too about adding, Freddy doing something to some kids at Crystal Lake and blah blah blah. But it just
Ooh,
it never sat right with me. That's what Connor was talking about too, is that they had come up with that idea that could be a possible script.
what about Protector Jason? He's going after Freddy for doing that. Ooh.
Yeah, Jason's more of a revenge killer.
Yeah, I know. But what if Freddy was doing his pedo things at Camp Crystal Lake? Like, they haven't heard from Jason in a while. For some
Yeah.
reason, he went dormant,
Yeah.
and because nobody's doing anything crazy. And then here comes Freddy diddling on some things.
Yeah, so it's kind of like an anti-hero type situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like I said, the script, I don't think they could have went any other way with that script, to be honest with you. With what they had. And I guarantee I kind of feel like, like I said earlier, I think Robert Englund was done at that point. So
I like that. That was a good little brain teaser that I wasn't ready for. So you can't be doing that to me.
yeah, my brother, he does stuff like that all the time, and then it's just like kind of flip them at me. But a lot of times because me and my brother tend to run on the same wavelength when it comes to this stuff, we've already both thought about the same exact thing. So you bring it up to us, and we've already thought about the conclusion to that question. So
And then me and Drew are best friends.
yeah,
So I wasn't ready for it. I was just bam, bam.
Yeah. It's not doesn't make me feel any smarter than anybody else. It's just I think about these things constantly. Like, what other script would work with these characters or whatnot.
What would happen if Jason was played by Danny DeVito?
I don't think it'd be scary at all, to be honest with you.
I think it would be the most frightening version of
Yeah.
Jason that we've
Well, I mean-
ever received.
Because I can't see Danny DeVito in anything other than It's Always Sunny now. And the Penguin, mind you. But
There you go.
in the Penguin, he was kind of dark.
Yeah.
Good villain. So
I mean, if it tells you anything, I'll kind of I do like this film. I have fun with it. Clearly, I have my problems with it, but I mean, it's something that we probably won't ever see again. Like, these two slashers going at each other on the big screen. And like, we see them a lot in comic books, or now they're in Mortal Kombat or Dead by Daylight, all these other like forms of media. But like, I feel like this Freddy versus Jason was like, this is going to be a one and done type of thing, unless it's, 100 years from now and they want to remake this somehow. Like then
Right.
maybe that's a possibility. But in our lifetimes, we probably will never see these two going head to head on the big screen again. So like, it is fun. It's a once in a lifetime thing for us, and it's a fun film. I disagree with some of the directing things, like replacing Kane Hodder and things like that, but I can have fun with it. And I mean, all in all, it's a good way to bring two of the most popular and iconic horror characters together in horror and slasher and even like movie and media history. Like these two, everybody knows who Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees are for the most part. So I mean, I have a lot of fun with this. So I mean, it's a good time, and it's recommended to any horror fan out there. I mean, most horror fans have seen it. So I mean, Drew, do you have any final thoughts on it?
Really love the movie. Love the concept. Glad they made it. Wasn't a big fan of the main characters on it. I felt like it just didn't work for me. The two main actors, especially the female lead in this film, it just wasn't. I don't feel like she was at the caliber of being a female lead in this role. At this time, not saying in the future, but at this time, I wasn't a big fan of that. But other than that, I enjoyed it. I like the side characters quite a bit comparable, you know. So, and again, big Nightmare fan. So this definitely hit a couple boxes that I was looking for.
All right,
real.
before we get out of here, Adrian, would you like to plug you and your wife's podcast as always?
Yes, of course. Everybody, if you want to listen to some more scary stuff, please tune in to the Make Me Believe podcast. We're on all major platforms. It's where I try to convince my wife of the supernatural by reading her a bunch of scary stories.
Drew, would you like to plug yours as well? I have
Sure.
actually I've listened to some of yours. I need to get to some of Adrian's.
Sure. Yeah. I'm one half of a two-man team podcast, the Post Credit Podcast, the OG originator of the Post Credit Podcast. Me and Matt, and you can find us on Spotify right now. We're not doing anything current right at this moment, but that could change in the future. But we do have quite a few episodes on there if you want to catch us on Spotify. Yeah, throw me a bone.
All right, before we get out of here, I'll say thank you to you guys for joining me because I love having guests on here. I love chatting about movies. So thanks to both of you for joining me on this.
It was a pleasure.
Always a pleasure here, Connor.
So this film did not this kind of ended the original timeline of the Nightmare films, but of course with the remakes of Halloween and Friday the 13th, a remake of this classic series was inevitable. So we will be looking at the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street, which was released April 30th, 2010 on our next episode. So again, Adrian, thank you for joining me. Drew, thank you for joining me. Thanks to anyone out there listening, and until next time.
Adios.
Welcome to my